When we made Conjuring 2, people really love, you know, the nun character, the main antagonist. And so it became, you know, it felt like a natural thing to do was kind of expand on her story, where she came from, you know, find out a little bit about her origin and where her character would ultimately go. I think a lot of the expansion of the Conjuring universe came from a very sort of organic place. We try not to force these expansions, and I just think for myself as a fan, as a genre fan, I want to see all the different stories. The Nun, for me, has a very different look to the whole film, and even down to the medieval sort of horror setting in Eastern European during the 1950s. And so not only is it, you know, does it take place in a, you know, like a kind of like a creepy abbey convent, you know, in Eastern Europe, but also the time period on that. And so, you know, I've never seen. I don't think I've seen like a mainstream medieval horror, and I don't know why. That is so exciting. It's almost like classic Hammer horror film, or classic Italian horror film that I haven't seen in a long time.
You know, The Nun's about a priest and a novitiate, a young novitiate, who are tasked by the Vatican to investigate a series of sort of strange occurrences that are happening at a convent, a cloistered convent in the heart of Romania. The movie kicks off with the discovery of a nun hanging outside the entrance, and it's discovered by a local named Frenchie who has the job of delivering supplies to the castle, you know, every couple of weeks. And he's always been uneasy dropping off these supplies, but of course seeing this really puts him on high alert, and he reaches out and to some local authorities, and word gets back to the Vatican, and that's where our leads, Father Burke and Sister Irene, come in. The story, I think, has a couple layers to it, and I also want to reflect that in the location as well. So, you know, in the first act, we're sort of on the surface or on the outside of the castle. In the second act, we cross over. Now we're inside the castle and on the couple of the ground floor and the upper levels. And then in the third act, we start to go deeper into the castle and underneath it as we start to get into the real grit and grime of not just the story, but also the castle. So those are the things I was sort of thinking about when I sort of plotted out and structured the movie. He's so visual in how he thinks. You know, he sketches out his ideas. He does the storyboards on the fly. He looks at the scares and goes, okay, this is how I'm thinking of sort of doing the reveal. And he really, and also, you know, it wasn't just about the scares for him. He really sort of fell in love with the world. He fell in love with the characters. He fell in love with their backstories and where they could go in the future. Like, he really just seemed to really embrace everything about the movie, and just, you know, kind of really ended up making it his own. I'm sure James has his ideas about where he'd like to end up. You know, I don't think that, you know, I think, and in terms of, like, I think of it in terms of chapters, right? I don't think he has a, you know, happily ever after the end to the story, but I do think he sees it in terms of chapters. Like, here's this movie or this series of movies is going to tell this chapter in the lives of Ed and Lorraine or Annabelle or whoever, and then that chapter is going to come to an end, but it leads into this next chapter.
Hey, Lisa here with some horrifying movie facts for you. Though it's never stated in the film, the demon that takes possession of Regan McCann has a name, Pazuzu, which is taken from the name of the king of the demons in Assyrian and Babylonian mythology. Now, the poster for the Ghoulies, featuring a ghoulie popping out of a toilet, reportedly caused several angry mothers to write letters to the studio saying that their kids were too scared to use the bathroom after seeing the poster. And the original title for Texas Chainsaw Massacre was Head Cheese. The actor who plays Leatherface, Gunnar Hansen, had to wear 3-inch heels so he could tower over everyone in the cast, which made chase scenes a little more challenging to film. Keep up to date with all the latest releases by subscribing to our channel and checking the notification bell, and I'll see you next time.